It's Pro Group Racing. Show us your tips, Dag and Beaver, with you. Hot on the heels of another good Cox Plate outing and another good spring outing for the boys. Profit. We made lots of money. Beaver, how's the weekend for you?
You've just summed it up, mate.
Yeah,
Lots of money.
yeah,
No, we did have a good weekend. Plenty of nice winners, plenty of great racing. The Great Animo, what a horse!
outstanding.
Outstanding again. Doesn't put big spaces in him, but just knows how to win. And I thought in the run, I thought this is going to win by 3, but it just seems to do enough to win its races, and didn't look like getting beat, but didn't put a space in him either. But outstanding horse, and it was great race.
Yeah, I think he's held up really well. I don't know how much of it is still keeping something up the sleeve or whether it's just how he races. I'm not sure, but he was cantering a long way out.
Yes.
It was one of the more comfortable watches I've had of late.
Yeah.
Don't know what else you take out of it. El Bogadon was okay for a little pit pony.
I'm Thunderstruck was outstanding as well.
Oh yeah, it was very good. If he's going back to a McKinnon next week, very hard to beat.
Yep.
Unless Animo's there.
So that was good. What else was take out of the race?
Berkeley
Square was very good.
Lovely. And Bella Nipotina was another comfortable
brilliant.
watch. So
yeah, very comfortable watch. Yeah, it was just tracking well into the races, flying at the moment, and loves Moonee Valley. It was very good. Couple of disappointing rides. Roots I thought was probably butchered in the run. Williams got the run exactly he wanted on Bella Nipotina in the race prior, but probably should have won that race.
I feel like it was a test run for Bella.
Yes.
Looking back in hindsight, he was looking to see which part of the track he should be in. What else throughout the day? Well, I don't know if Berkeley Square's going to Derby. Derby's starting to look like a great race.
Yes. Yeah. Outstanding race.
I haven't seen if anything's come out today yet. Time we do the show, but that should be good. And Sydney was great. I'll just plug my cheeky $9,000 quaddie for good measure in Sydney.
Done.
Elliot did ride in, and he was chiming back in for Ice Bath once more. He was wrong.
He must be in the mental home now, Elliot, with following Ice Bath. It was, you just can't. Gold Mile was good. Another solid performance. Probably, unfortunately, Zamut didn't quite get there in the last for me, which would have topped it off quite nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, good day all in all.
Yeah, enjoyable day. So hopefully it rolls through well. We've got Bendigo today. I'm not sure this is the most exciting 2 cards we've ever talked about. And then we've got Derby Day, Cup Week, Ladies' Day, and Champions Day next week. So not much sleep coming up in the next couple of weeks for us, but we'll plow on through. We'll start off at Bendigo, where it is a heavy track, heavy 9. I think the worst of the rain's passed from what I hear down there. But scratchings will be a surprise to everyone here because I haven't looked at them just yet. But we could start off with the maiden over 1,100 meters. How are you going to start the day here?
Yeah, look, not really sure too much in the first here around a number of first starters on the heavy conditions. If I was forced to have a pick, I'd go for the 7 Futuristic from the Price Kent stable. Ridden by Zara, drawn well. That was sort of the way I was looking in the first.
I went looking for the 2 first starters. You mentioned Futuristic, nice trial, nice hit along well through the last trial. In Tasman Park, trialled well on the wet, on the steeple grass at Flemington, look up along the inside. So I thought they were the 2. The market sort of says that, but I'm going, 7 from 3 as well. Benchmark 64 over the 1,300 meters, key scratching of Zamborghini, which hasn't left me with a great deal left, to be honest. Probably by default, I've got Oscar Bravo on top of a nice enough debut. But not much I want to talk about here.
Yeah, similar for me. I went for number 6, DK. Thought its last start, although on the synthetic at Pakenham was pretty good. Sat on the pace and went away from him nicely. Might be the one to follow.
Race 3, benchmark 64 over the 2,400. And I think this is Outback Jack's race now. You've been about him the last few times, but this is a very weak affair. So his form out of some of his previous wins has held up okay since, and there's just nothing else here. If he's not ever going to win a race, this is it.
Yep, ultra consistent last 4 starts, and you're right. If it's ever going to win a race, it needs to be this. Otherwise, good night, Irene. Last few starts against Captain Envious and Kissinger are pretty good for a race like this.
Race 4, benchmark 78 over the 1100 meters. What have you done here?
I've stuck with the favourite, Never Standing Still. It wasn't a listed race last start behind a very fine red, and I think Shellstar ran second. It's only beaten 3 lengths, so not the worst run in the world compared to what it meets here. And then before that, had run well in some benchmark 64s and 70s against some okay horses. So I think it looks like it will jump and run. Has won 2 out of 2 on the heavy, so everything pointing in the favour for it to run well.
Yeah, agree. It'll run well. It's very hard to beat. Travelled into that race at Caulfield all right as well, and just I think got a bit on the wrong leg, crabbed around the bend there, and just lost all momentum. But back here should be very hard to beat, as the market suggests. But I think I'm pretty keen on a day. I'm probably not going to be betting. If at all, this might be one of the ones I might take around even money, but we'll keep an eye on that one where the market heads.
So you are going to be betting?
Yes, just not much. Let's move on. I will participate. Profitable. It'll be a profitable. That's what I'm calling. 1100 meters benchmark 64 is up next, where I am going to make a case here for El Salto. Was tragedy beaten in Adelaide last time. Just got completely chopped out when it was about to mow into the race. There has been consistent before that. I think this is a drop in grade. Wet should be okay. Bit of a claim there for young Jet Stanley, it looks like as well. You don't want to see him running on by now. Didn't mention it last time it was wet here. It was very rail. So you want to see him making ground. But each way price here, El Salto on top. We've got an odds-on favourite. Is that the way you're looking?
Yeah, I liked last run. It was short price favourite last start, and I thought it would win. And it got beat by Prowling. And Prowling's since come out and won on Sunday in a better race than this, and won very well. I think this is clear on top selection. El Salto is definite danger, but observation, third up here, after 2 good runs, gets its chance.
Race number 6 is 1300 meter benchmark 70. How are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going for Lazuka here around the $5 mark. It's been pretty consistent this time in. First 2 runs in ran very well. They were nice runs. Slightly disappointing in a much higher graded race at Caulfield 2 back was on the pace, and then bounced back with a nice run at Mornington last start where it was beaten by Air Clash, who's got some ability. It was 4 lengths off on, but Air Clash won quite comfortably that day. Led, and it was probably favoured by the upfront and on pace there. So I can settle just in behind them here and just run over the top of them at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I found it on top as well. I set out to find what I thought were the 2 best horses in Secret Glamour and Court Deep, and I wasn't that enthused. Court Deep probably going a bit better, but has a claim. But yeah, I end up with Lazuka on top. If it gets even luck here, a few scratchings help. I think it's going to be hard to beat. The Group 3 2400 meter Bendigo Cup comes up next, where pretty disappointing Bendigo Cup compared to what we've seen over the years, but I'm sticking with the up-and-comer on top. The wet track stay here, Port Phillip. It's been good every start. Loves the wet and small field suits and can roll forward, and pretty much, 2 favourites will probably end up leading this, and I think it's going to be hard to get by under Froggy Newitt. What are you going to say about the race? As I said, pretty disappointing.
Yeah, it's a very disappointing race here. There's only 7 in it. And there's a couple at the bottom of the market that I don't give much of a hope to. I went for Port Phillip as well. Thought it could probably just control the race up front. Knew it's a great front running jockey, can jog along here. Heavy track certainly suits, and again, it's got good form behind horses like Kissinger and Angelic Scent. no reason it can't win 5 from 5. So got it on top. And Noble Heights from the Kamani stable, I think it can run well. Steps up here after an okay run first up. Has won over these distances before when last in work. So not without a chance.
Race 8 is the mile benchmark 70. What have you done here?
Yeah, this is a really tricky race here. Hard to really get a line on them. I was kind of looking for a little bit of value. So I went for the McAvoy train, Water into Wine. Didn't do a lot at first up, but that was over a more unsuitable 1400. So it gets out to the mile here, but when last in work, I ran in a Group 1 race at Morphettville, albeit it wasn't the best run. So, but they must think it has some ability after it had a couple of nice wins. So got it on top. But yeah, I think this is a really open race. Anything can win this.
Yeah, no confidence at all. I ended up, for the sake of putting one on top, I think I've got Zoomin on top, just because you look back through what it did last prep. It'll roll forward here, but chasing Katotsu and Allegron is much better than what he comes up against here. Will be on pace. Trial was there, but I couldn't find anything to beat it in a pretty average race. Speaking of which, benchmark 78, 1400 meters finishes as off, where I think there's two main chances. I went looking for Sharp Response, who I think is the best horse in the race. Return was, you couldn't take a lot out. It was buried back at Moonee Valley and was okay home. But I think this is a drop in grade and could run well. Real Sensation off a win at the each way price. Maybe is the obvious one that I didn't jump on straight away. And Toragene was a nice resumption there. Gets through the ground, down in weight for Dean Yendo. Obviously will run well, but didn't know what the form from that race was either. So just the two at the each way price I was looking at there.
Yeah, I was a bit the same as you. I wasn't sure what to make of the favourites first up win, and I think at the sort of 5 to 4, 6 to 4 marks, probably a little bit skinny in this race. A lot will depend on whether they are finishing on down the middle of the track, but I went for Real Sensation. I liked the each way odds and thought if there's a little bit of pace on, it can drop on them at the end. So it on top.
Beautiful. For progretracing.com.au, have you got a best and value at Bendigo?
Yeah, I do, mate. My best comes up in race 5, number 11, Observation. And my value bet comes up in race 9, number 5, Real Sensation.
Lovely. I'm going to make my best race 3, number 1, Outback Jack. And the value race 5, number 3, El Salto. We head up to Kenzo for a 6-race card at Kenzo, where it's currently heavy 8. I think it ends up being slightly better than that. Get into the soft range by the end of the day with a nice day in Sydney today. Yeah, 6 races to talk about. I think this is actually a better betting card than Bendigo, but see what you think here. Beaver standard Kenzo with the rail true up on pace early and maybe down the outside through the middle of the day, but small field, so I don't know how much that's going to come into play. 1300 meter maiden for the fillies starts us off. Anything got your eye here?
Not a lot here. Wallet's got 4 runners in these, so hard to get a line on, but the untested Kazoo has been backed and is even money in this. I'll assume on that basis, its trial was pretty decent and might have a little bit of ability, and they are expecting it to win, so I'll put it on top.
I've got it on top. Yeah, the trial was not the quickest, but it was stylish and wasn't asked for a lot and travelled quite nicely and doesn't have to be a star to win this. Should be up on pace. I still think I Am Jade can perhaps improve off first up, but I'd need to see something pretty soon at a price there. The second is the benchmark 72, 1400 metres for the 4-year-old and up mares. And I think we just forgive Piccaroni's last start. Slow out, buried back, then just never got a crack late anyway. Comes here, and I think even money actually in this field looks pretty good because there's nothing else here. This would barely be a Hawkesbury race. So Bowman going on, I think is actually a good bet today.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth with Picaronis. It was given no chance last start, just got buried away and couldn't get a crack at him. The 8 next to its name's not as bad as it looks. It was only 2.5 lengths off him and would have been in the finish there with any luck in running. So yeah, clear on top for me.
Race 3, 1800 meter benchmark 72. And I'm going to back up on Money from the Sky. I don't know what happened last start. Just slow out and was never asked to keep up for a long way. Flashed home and wins the race in another 50 meters. It gets here. Hopefully, Josh Park in a little bit more urgency. In a weaker field, a quick backup, I think, is a horse of talent and should beat these. And I think the price is pretty fair at the moment, around the $3.
Yeah, I think the same as well. Probably would have won with not too much further to go, as you said, and was a mile off them. Just didn't look like it was even going to get into the race. So willing to forgive that, even though it wasn't a bad run. And the 1800 here looks right up its alley, starting back up again here.
Race 4, 2400 meters, benchmark 72 Beaver. Anything caught your eye?
Not a lot in this race. It was quite a difficult one, to be brutally honest. If I had to have a pick, I'd go for Iowa. Didn't mind its run 2 starts back at Goulburn against Flying Witness and then come out and won at a short price favourite at Newcastle, soft going over pretty much this distance. I think it can run well again here, 4th up.
Yeah, I've got it on top. I like that. I like both its last 2 runs, actually. I think it'll roll forward here in a race with not a great deal of pace. And may well have a picnic in front. And I think everything out of the Essential Sky race is going to struggle to get past Essential Sky after what it did, which I'm suggesting is probably not that good a form. So, yeah, on pace stayer now at the warm-up run over the 24, I think it's going to be hard to beat under Josh Park. Race 5 is benchmark 72 again over the 1250, where I don't really know. I wasn't interested in Pandano. I was sort of left with Anything Goes on top, just purely because I think it may well be the most talented horse, and trials were okay in a race bereft of anything jumping out to grab me. That's the way I've gone at a each way price. What have you made of this?
Did the same. Couldn't really find a lot here. Pretty much most of this field here is resuming, which makes it hard as well. Some sort of horses that will be looking for further, so it depends which one's sort of got the most work in it and ready to run well first up. But Anything Goes I had on top.
And the last is a benchmark 72 over the 1250 again. Are you any keener here?
No, not overly keen here. Tricky race. I did narrow it down. I came up with 2 horses that I thought could run well. Too Much Caviar resuming. I think he can run well in a race like this, and I'm willing to forgive Camino Real on its last start. It was pretty good at Hawkesbury first up, and then maybe second up Syndrome got it last start. I think he could probably run well again here.
I end up with the favourite on top. Comrade Rosa. Trials were good. Outside Gate by this time suits, and maybe Fresh is best for it. Did run in some much better races, chasing Espiona like last prep. But I think he's going to run well. And I agree, Camino Real is currently way over the odds at the $10 mark. Just forgive last time. It will be in the finish today with the claim for Zach Lloyd. There it is, a whirlwind look across two racing cards. Best in value at Kenzo.
Yeah, look, mate, I think the first 4 races we could be on the money, but my best bet does come up in race 2, number 1, Picaronis. And then my value is going to come up in the last in the day, race 6, number 10, Camino Real.
Beautiful. I've got my best. Which way am I going to go? I'll make it Money from the Sky, race 3, number 2, just to be different. But I think Picaroni is very hard to beat as well. And on a card of not a lot of value, let's go with, I'll agree with you, race 6, number 10, Camino Real, for better or worse. Ending up in Queensland?
Yeah, got a few up in Queensland that have sort of jumped out. I did like one in the second race. I now see it's been scratched. So my first selection comes up in race 5, number 7, Carneros. I think it can win. Race 6, number 12, Larrikin Rogue. And race 8, number 12, Big Short, being my best of the day up there.
Lovely. Good job, Beaver. I threw that quick. Hopefully there's some enthusiasm to be found somewhere in there. But we're looking forward to Derby Day, which should be a lot. Oh, good. Two big cards to get stuck into with the Golden Eagle as well. That should be fun. We'll talk to everyone Friday afternoon. Catch you then, guys.